Namaskar, I'm Harpreet Kaur and I welcome you all to our live and interactive session. This is our online training on cyber Swachhata and digital citizenship. This training program is brought to you by Central Institute of Educational Technology, that is CIET, in collaboration with Cyber Peace Foundation, that is CPF. Today we are in day one of the training session and the topic that we have taken up is extremely relevant and something that concerns us all. We are going to talk about basics of cyber hygiene. Well, you are watching us right now on PM eVidya channels 6 to 12 and also on our YouTube handle NCERT official. You can also be a part of this online training program by giving us a call, sending us a message or simply writing to us on our live chat box. Our phone number is 8800444059. We also have a dedicated email ID for you, that is training.helpdesk@ciet.nic.in. And lastly, you can send us your questions, suggestions and feedback on our YouTube handle NCERT official. Now it's a training program and whenever we talk about training, we talk about assessments also. So on the last day of the training session, you can have an assessment and if you score more than 70%, you will be granted a certificate that you can download from DIKSHA portal. And for all the guidelines and instructions regarding the assessment, like how to register, how to go about it, you can visit our CIET website for more. And now we all know that cyber hygiene is extremely essential. It's important for us to maintain the same because of so many threats that are happening and fraudulent practices that are taking place. So if you want yourself to be ready, cyber ready, if you do not want to be a victim of cyber crime, cyber threats, make sure you practice cyber hygiene. But what all are important aspects related to the same and how broad is the area? We will discuss everything about the basics in this very interesting session. And who is going to share the details with us? Of course, our expert. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Shruti Mantri. Ma'am is Senior Associate Director, Institute of Data Science from Indian School of Business, Hyderabad, Telangana. Ma'am, namaskar and very warm welcome to you.
Thank you, Harmeet, for the introduction and welcoming me. It's indeed a pleasure to be a part of this initiative.
Well, pleasure is all ours as well. Ma'am, basics of cyber hygiene. Of course, it is a topic which is very basic but yet very important. It has its relevance because lot of transactions that we are doing, through the online medium, we have a presence on various social networking sites. I mean, it has become the need of the hour and it is totally inevitable to, avoid this and to stay away from this. But unless and until we are alert, we cannot practice cyber hygiene. So I want to understand from you the relevance of today's session and what exactly you will be covering.
Thanks, Sunny. So today I'm going to talk about digital footprint because each one of us has a digital footprint in different forms. We have our Aadhaar, which is in fact one of the very key digital footprint that we have. Then we have different apps, social media platforms where we are our net banking, our UPI apps which are there. So there are different footprints, digital footprints that basically each one of us, not just the elders, but even today kids basically live in the digital space which is there. So what I'm going to talk about is basically the different footprints and it's how you need to protect yourself and keep yourself safe in this particular digital world.
Well, I won't say you are forced to be on the cyberspace, but rather it is the need of the hour. As I mentioned earlier, yes. You have to be there because otherwise you can't do the business, be it studying, be it doing online transactions or anything. So I'm looking forward to this very exciting and interesting journey. Ma'am, I'll request you to kindly go ahead with your presentation. Whatever questions we will be receiving from our viewers and audiences, we will take them up in the end.
Thank you so much. Right. So namaskaram everybody and thank you for having me here. Now each one of us know, as I already mentioned, that with the advancements in the field of technology and telecommunication, things have been very different in the past almost 10 to 15 years. Each one of us is there on the digital space and each one of us basically has a digital footprint. Now what we mean by a digital footprint is something that we need to understand. Our online trails are nothing but our digital footprints. Now these are in different forms. We have our Aadhaar, which is basically the proof of identity and a proof of address. That's a very key national identity that we have. Apart from that, we are basically using different kinds of social media platforms to keep ourselves connected. Not just the elders, but even the kids today basically use different kinds of social media platforms. Say Facebook, WhatsApp, people are using LinkedIn, YouTube is one way where, many students and younger generation refer different contents which are there. So that's one type of digital footprints. Today we have school going, college going students referring to chat gpt or llm models which are there. So that's another footprint that we basically live in today. Apart from that, there are many games which students play online. There today education has changed very drastically. We never had thought before COVID that education could be done online to that greater extent. Yeah. Which is there. So there are again digital footprints where education today has become online across different the world, and people across the world are joining certain courses and learning together. So that's another form of digital footprint that we have. Apart from this, we have different kind of transactions that we do online, not just our mobile apps or the internet banking, but UPI is something which is commonly used by not just the elders but even the students today to do certain kind of daily small transactions as well. So there are different kinds of digital footprints that we have. Some of these footprints and these digital applications that we use is extremely important in digital space to keep ourselves relevant in this particular digital space. But as we with the amount of advancements in the field of technology, though this is equally important, but this also has certain kind of disadvantages, or these are basically also exploited by cyber criminals which is there. And that is the reason we need to be extremely very careful about our digital footprint and how we need to safeguard ourselves in this digital space. Now, that is where we come across a term that is called a cyber hygiene. So what do we really mean by cyber hygiene? Each one of us every day ensure that when we get up, we brush our teeth, we fresh ourselves, then we eat good food, we keep ourselves clean. These are certain basic hygiene techniques that we follow. Similar way, we also need to ensure that in the digital space that we are, we also follow certain cyber hygiene. What are these? For example, if any kind of mobile applications or your UPI transactions or your social media accounts which is there, you need to have strong passwords. Whatever you are sharing on the social media platforms, you need to be very careful about it. Whenever you use these apps, you need to constantly keep on updating. For example, you need to have relevant antiviruses so that the antiviruses will keep on detecting new cyber malicious codes such as worm, viruses and trojans. These are just some of what I'm talking about, but we also in detail will see what we need to do and the don'ts. Now, most common what students and the younger generation today prefer, the Gen Z generation that we call, is social media, because these are platforms, that is websites, mobile applications that allow them to connect, share their thoughts, photos, videos, communicate instantly. It acts like a digital playground or a global meeting place for them to make friends, share their experiences, learn new things and keep themselves updated about around the world. Now, social media evolution is not new. It's there since 1997. Then we had in Friendster in 2002, in MySpace in 2003, and then Orkut in 2004. Orkut, in fact, really changed. Orkut was the beginning of a lot of digital presence that we see today. And then over a period of time came Facebook, we have WhatsApp, then we basically have Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn. And each of these social media platforms which are there help the younger generation and also the older generation to keep themselves updated and connected. For example, on Facebook, you connect with your friends and family, share photographs, videos together. Instagram allows you to share certain photos and short videos. It have creative effects you can add. Similarly, Telegram, allows you to send pictures and videos. WhatsApp is an instant messaging app where you're sending again text messages, you're making voice and video calls, which is there. YouTube is again a platform where a lot of influencers, post contents today. Some of that is academic content, which is there. And LinkedIn is basically a platform which allows the professional network and people to connect together. Now, we today around, as of February 2025, there are 5.24 billion number of social media user identities. And in fact, there is 86.6% of the younger generation, that is 18 plus, is on social media today. Now, there is this nice study which has been done, and where it says that the Gen Z generation, which is there, in fact, the social networks that they commonly prefer is ByteDance, that is 70%, Instagram 67%, Reddit at 58%. In fact, there are instant messages where instant messengers like WhatsApp is at 35% and Discord is at 41%, which is there. Now, this is also a very interesting study which was done in the US, and it says, and there are similar kind of patterns we see in India as well, that YouTube is almost preferred by 95% of the teens in the age of 13 to 17, which is there. And in fact, YouTube is in fact at the higher as compared to in fact TikTok, Instagram and Snapchat as well. But as I said, whenever you are using this digital space, you also need to be very, very careful, because it also has a certain disadvantages which are there. For example, cyberbullying, is used for hacking. There can be security issues. You will face, fake news. You will come across. There are multiple challenges. What this leads to is something that we really need to think, which is there. One is addiction. If you're too much a using of social media platforms, then you tend to become addictive to it. And this addiction can distract children, it can distract teenagers from their studies, different homeworks, hobbies which are there. Instead of doing productive activities, they might just spend hours, scrolling through feeds and watching videos. Over a time, this also impacts their grades, physical health, and overall being. So you really need to be careful about the amount of time that you are spending on the digital space actively, I would say. Not just social media, but any different kind of mobile applications that you are using, you really need to be very careful, whether it is online games which are there, because students get, or young kids get addicted to even online games. On YouTube's, you're listening to stories or other material, you will get eventually addicted to it. So it's very, very important that you avoid addiction. And this addiction generally leads to sleeplessness, it leads to stressfulness, leads to depression, which is there. It results in a lot of mood swings, because at younger generation, you need to be happy, you need to be energized, you need to have a positive attitude, you need to learn new things, which is there. It also, as I said, leads to a lot of depression and anxiety, because what happens when you are on these particular platforms, you see your friends sharing certain certain things, the places they visit, their exciting trips which are there, their happy moments, and you also start thinking that, okay, if my friend is traveling here, I also need to travel. And that often leads to sadness, low esteem, it causes anxiety among the people, leads to depression, and person's mood swings, and even ability to focus on studies and activities also gets impacted, which is there. So you need to be extremely careful about when in your digital space, which is there. Now, social media and cyberbullying, young students, we also see a lot of them being hurt, they are bullied on the digital spaces. And which digital space they are bullied in? There are school and different groups which are there on WhatsApp. If they have groups on social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, they are into their friends try to put in write certain mean thing messages, and that really tends to hurt them. They feel embarrassing, they become low in their esteem, which is there. Sometimes other students spread rumors, share embarrassing photographs, making fun of people. All this again leads, is called as cyberbullying, but it also leads to a lot of mental stress, anxiety and depression. Now, whenever you are interacting with different people on on the digital space which is there, we tend to share a lot of personal information in terms of your name, your school name, your home address, your phone numbers, what you're doing in your daily life. You are checking into different hotels, we take pictures of the food, we share it, we share our own personal pictures which are there. This at times can also be risky. you will come across different people sending you friend requests who may be completely strangers, who you have no connection with. So these kind of people, they have a lot of bad intentions, and they might misuse this particular information and misuse it. So they try to contact you in very inappropriate ways. They steal your identity, even come to your home thinking that they know where you live. So you'll come across these different things which are there. So you need to be extremely careful about what you're sharing online. Always think twice before, sending a message, posting personal details, and be careful about your piracy settings which are there. Always one remember a thing, that you need to keep your information very private which is there. Protect your privacy by being cautious, and only share information with trusted friends and family members. A lot of time we come across different content on the digital space which is very inappropriate. These could include videos, pictures, messages. At times they show a lot of violence, bad language, harmful things. Such content can be really upsetting and confusing. It also affects the mind of the younger generation, and they start thinking or behaving in a particular way. Sometimes these videos and images at times seem very interesting, but they are actually very harmful and inappropriate. And one needs to be very careful and avoid clicking or sharing anything that looks suspicious or even, uncomfortable that is there. Now, when we talk about this information, this kind of data at times is called as fake news and misinformation. On social media, whatever you see, or in the digital space, I would say, whatever you see, whether it's your WhatsApp group, at times those are online games which are there, everything that you see and read is not true. Sometimes there is a lot of false information and rumors are shared widely. That is called as fake news and misinformation. People might share their stories thinking that it is true, but in reality, it is not. What information they share in terms of photographs, videos, and pictures, you need to evaluate that particular information. At times you will come across a lot of health tips. Somebody will say, take this particular medicine, you will become, you will lose a lot of weight. People tend to take those medicines thinking, okay, I may not have to exercise, let me just take that particular medicine and I will lose weight. But that's all fake. Nothing comes easy in life, dear. Now you will see there are so many, cosmetics which are there. These kind of cosmetics, in where, okay, you use this particular cosmetic, you will start looking very beautiful. Nothing of this happens. This is all fake news which are there. So be aware, because these products are extremely dangerous to your health as well. Many of time these products are also called as counterfeit products. So be extremely careful. Even in YouTube and even on Instagram, you will see many of these people, who will encourage you. They will show you a particular product, say it's from a luxury brand, and it's available at a very discounted rate. You see a lot of, Gucci, Armani products which are being marketed as if it is a genuine product on social media platform. But again, these are all fake products. So beware from, these kind of fake misinformation as well. Now, this fake and misinformation is of different types. It leads, there's just misinformation as inaccurate or misleading information, disinformation which is intentionally created with an intention to cause a harm. At times there are humor, you can see a lot of cartoons, you can, these things mimicking styles, but these are also at times just done to, create a fake news kind of a thing. Then there, at times you can see sensationalized or misleading headlines that tend to attract clicks and web traffic. Be extremely careful about these, because the moment you click on these particular links, at times what happens is these links basically also might have certain phishing, could be a phishing links, and these phishing links basically have certain malicious codes. So once you click on those particular links, what will happen, you are clicking it because it's thinking that it is a sensationalized or, it comes to be a very nice heading, it's very catchy, and you feel like clicking on it. But once the moment you click on it, what will happen, in the background a malicious code will get installed on your particular device. and that will secretly transfer all your information to the cyber criminal which is there. So be aware of these phishing links and these sensationalized headings which are there. A lot of these are also fabricated news. They are just completely false and completely created fictionally. There is no reality in this. You will come across a lot of manipulated content as well. Somebody takes, like, especially women, be extremely careful about what you're posting on social media. You never know where your images will be used to create content, which could be deep fakes, there could be Photoshop images, there are audio clips get manipulated to convey false information which are there. At times, even news that you find on the digital spaces has a very biased reporting into it. It's one-sided or partial. At times, it is a lot of propaganda, especially during the elections, which we see, which also leads to a lot of influencing public opinion and shaping perception, which is there. We students, you must see a lot of these AI technologies are basically used today to create a lot of videos, images, audios, which we also call it, the technology is good, which is called as deep learning. But this technology is basically misused to create deepfakes, which is there. And these deepfakes basically are used, it looks very funny. You see a lot of these videos coming on your social media platforms, which are there, but basically it's all fake misinformation or fake news, and this is used to again manipulate at times public opinion, or this public opinion as well as what you are thinking which is there. So be aware of these kind of content as well. Now, we undertook a particular study at the Indian School of Business, and what we found is the kind of fake news that propagates on different in the digital spaces today. In fact, 43.60% of it comes from a political domain, which is there. And lot of these fake news are basically 35% of them are in the form of text and videos. So when it is of video, it becomes very, very difficult to detect it, which is there. And the social media platforms through which it propagates, you have Twitter at 61%, Facebook at 34%, which is there. So be extremely careful about when you are accessing these kind of platforms which are there. Another major challenge that people face today, especially women, is a lot of crime against women. Today, crime against women is not just restricted to physical crime. It's also basically crime on social media. A lot of crime today on women is happening on, through the digital spaces which are there. And there is people, young girls are still very, very find it, uncomfortable to even go and report those particular crime which is there. So one, please be very careful about what you're posting. There are cases where women have basically posted their photographs, and those photographs basically has been used to create deep fakes, of which are porn deep fakes which are there, and those are being available on various illegal sites. So be extremely careful about what you're posting on different social media platforms, or even in the different digital spaces. Women are constantly get calls which are there, they are being harassed, so you need to be aware of it. Don't be afraid of it. There are laws, there are legal frameworks. You need to just go and register the respective content complaint which is there. There are a lot of different, when we talk about digital space, there are different digital footprints that we leave. One footprint is basically, which I commonly see is, young students, people playing online games. And this online game playing at times eventually leads to, betting. It can basically also lead, to money laundering. All these things are there. So be extremely careful when you're playing these particular online games which are there. Many of the younger generation, and especially students, they always they do basically what they do is, students and younger generation, they want to refer to different content. This particular content may be in terms of books. We think these books are easily and freely available on the digital spaces. You just go on Google, search a particular book, you see that ebook which is there, and you download it. Nothing is free in this particular world. So be extremely careful about it, because these books, when you're downloading, will also can result in certain kind of phishing links being installed in your devices. And there is something called as digital piracy, because you are violating digital piracy also there. You will find many different platforms where you have entertainment content freely available. You find different websites where songs are available, so it's called as audio. Then you have different where different videos are available. You find sites where a lot of content from Netflix is available, Amazon Prime. You think, oh, I don't need to take a membership out of it, but let me just go and watch that particular content. Now beware of that things, because this amounts to digital piracy. Not only are you violating the digital piracy norms and the act, but you are also exposing yourself to different malwares. Because when you are accessing this particular website, one thing, there will be a chance that they will ask you to share your credit card numbers. You will find, oh, this subscription is very less as compared to what a Netflix or maybe an Amazon subscription or a Hotstar subscription is. And on one particular website, I'm getting to see a content of all the different entertainment platforms. So why not just go and take a subscription of this, and you tend to share your credit card details, but they will basically use it to cause basically a big cyber crime, and all your money from your account might be lost. Also, these particular websites have a lot of advertisements, and a lot of pop-ups will come up when you're accessing them. The moment you click on this particular pop-ups, what will happen is, a lot of these pop-ups basically have certain malicious links, whether it is a virus, worm, a Trojan, even at times a ransomware link which is there. So the moment you're clicking on those particular pop-ups, that malicious code gets installed in your devices and will take complete control of your particular device. And you then tend to lose your data, or they might then, as a ransomware attack, they will just call you up, they'll demand your money which is there. Not only that, what will happen is you are infecting your device, but if you share that particular link with your friends, with your family, then you are also compromising your friends and family which is there. So cyber crime can also happen by accessing freely available content on the social media. And not just are you getting exposing yourself to cyber crime or financial frauds, but you are also exposing your friends, family, and you are also violating the Digital Piracy Act which is there. So be extremely careful about what you're doing. Another thing what we commonly see is, people, we are very scared, and we think that, oh, my Aadhaar is a very, very important document, so let us just I take Xerox of it and keep my Aadhaar at home. And what we do, we take a Xerox of it, we laminate that particular Xerox, and then we start using it in our everyday purpose. But what are we doing? We go to a Xerox shop, you are giving him your important document, and that person you are exposing your Aadhaar, because that person secretly keeps a copy of your Aadhaar. And this particular your Aadhaar is basically then used by the cyber criminals later to issues for fraudulent activities, whether by opening a fraudulent SIM card, or getting access to a fraudulent SIM card, or basically then they basically use it to open a mule account. And all this information, okay, at times is basically misused to create a bigger cyber crime which is there, and which you as an innocent person may not even be aware that my confidential information like Aadhaar is basically used for such criminal activity. So be extremely careful about whom you are giving your proof of identity, proof of Aadhaar which is there. Even when you go for shopping, do not hand over your credit card to the at the counter. What you do is you yourself enter it in the machine and ensure that you take it from there, because you never know where your credit card will be cloned as well. So these are very different areas where one needs to be really very careful. Many a times it may not be your credit card, or especially for the students and kids, you might be using your parents debit card, they are giving you, but be extremely careful about it. So there are different cyber hygiene and safety which the students and kids needs to follow. In terms of social media, do not post comments which will hurt other sentiments, especially your friends. Okay, if Go and refer only educational content. Avoid mean messages, inappropriate photographs which are there. Ask a question to yourself. What would you like to say? Will you do this in real life? Think about this before. Whatever you're posting on social media, analyze that particular information. Try to keep as much as information is private. Keep your social media accounts as private. Don't talk to strangers. You will get a lot of friend requests which are there. You might get friend requests from people who are abroad, okay, whom you completely do not know. Don't even accept their request. Just report and block those users. You will get added to different Telegram groups. Especially on Telegram, you will find people adding you to different groups. And then they will say, okay, if you post, you like this particular comment, you go to Amazon, you give a review, you will get, say, 100 rupees. This is all fake. Don't fall victim to this. Do not share your personal details, especially your telephone numbers, your home addresses which are there, where you have checked in, what time you are checking in at a particular place. Avoid all that. Be kind and respectful on social media, especially when you are playing online games. When you're playing online games, be careful about that you are chatting with strangers. As I already mentioned, it will lead to addiction and scams. Very important thing, parents need to monitor what their kids are doing. If don't share, see if your kids are sharing personal information. As kids, yeah, for this, especially for the kids and the students, if you think that somebody is bullying you, you find anybody's behavior as suspicious, please go and immediately talk to your parents, your elders, your school teachers. Immediately go and notify to them. There are different incidences, even certain cases which cyber police themselves has basically gone, analyzed and investigated those cases, where basically girls, school going girls, basically were harassed and cyber bullied through WhatsApp. And then the girl was so impacted that she eventually stopped attending the school. You will come across these, you might come across, if anybody in you or your network comes across this particular experience, you think you're being cyber bullied, anybody's trying to bully you, anybody's saying mean things to you, okay, don't accept anything. Immediately talk to somebody, a trusted adult. Don't stay silent. Gaming scam, a lot of these gaming websites, as I mentioned already, are scams. A young boy shared his password and then lost all these completely accounts. So never share your passwords with anyone, not even your friends. He or she, even if it's your best friend, don't never share your password with them. You will find there are many, because what happens, using your password and your details, somebody might just create a fake social media profile. They will edit your photographs, post it online. If you come across these things, immediately report it. What these cyber criminals do is they will basically take access. If they get access to your username and password, they will log into it, they will block that particular account, and they might just create another social media account and start posting picture deepfakes about you. They will morph images which are you, and the whole intention basically is to create a harm and knowledge. I was investigating a case many years back. There was a young girl and she was about to get married, a very young girl, maybe just completed her particular studies. And you won't believe, the person who had morphed her picture and sending it to all her relatives was none other than her fiance's best friend. So you never know. You might feel the cyber criminal is very far away, but he might be the one who is in your network, who knows you very well. So be careful about whom you are interacting with, what you are sharing, because you yourself have to protect yourself in this digital space which is there. So how to keep yourself space? Always check the source of the information that you are receiving it before even you believe into it. Always look for trustworthy websites. Ask your adult teachers if you're unsure about something that you're seeing online. Remember, if something sounds unbelievable, then it probably is. Ask questions. Online piracy, online privacy is extremely important. Keep personal information private. Use strong passwords. Your passwords minimum should be of 8 digits. It should be a combination of alphanumeric characters. So you can have certain capital characters, you can have alphabets which are smaller, then you have numbers, then you have special characters. Make it a combination of that. Avoid having passwords which are very small in digits. Okay, say 4-digit password. Okay, don't keep your birth dates, your family member's name as passwords. Don't do that. Or even your own name as password. Don't do. Always visit trusted websites. Don't click on any suspicious link. Be careful when you're downloading. Limit the screen time, because as young you need to read books, go out, play with your friends. That is also very equally important. Stay informed about what is happening. If you are coming across cyberbullying, okay, immediately report this. You yourself also be respectful about others who are there online. If somebody sends you a mean message, don't respond to it. Immediately tell your seniors and the adults. Now, the laws in India are equally stringent. So if somebody is cyber bullying you, or if you think that you're bullying, hacking, blackmail are punishable crimes. As I said, even accessing free content is also punishable. Today we have Juvenile Justice Act, we have the IT Act, which protects online users. Sharing inappropriate images, videos is also a criminal offense. So be careful about what you're posting. If you're forwarding a particular message, if it turns out to be a fake news, misinformation, or a deepfake is also a crime. You need to be aware of this. There are a lot of legal consequences for keeping oneself safe on a social media. Social media mistakes can lead to trouble under the Juvenile Justice Act and the IT Act. So be extremely careful. Parents also needs to be careful, because at times you may not know that what your child is doing on a social media or a digital space could actually lead that particular child behind the bars. So always be careful. Keep monitoring what your kids are doing online. How the law helps you: there is a cyber helpline number 1930. Immediately go and file a police case. Report certain platforms. If you find anything suspicious, go and report to. Always speak up, because you're not alone. There are organizations like Cyber Peace who are actively working and supporting young kids. They're supporting adults, they're supporting cyber victims, they're supporting so many women who come across these cyber cases. So there are these organizations which are there. Also you can reach out to them, and they will help you and guide you also. Your parents and teachers, adults, you need to be careful about what your child is accessing, what the child is going through. There is a police cyber helpline number. There are so many platforms, help centers. Please, if your child, be vigilant. If your child is going through or being cyber bullied or is any kind of issue, immediately please report it. There are different portals where you can actually go and report. There are children related crimes, where there is NCPCRC government.in. Go and report there. There is the cybercrime.government.in. Any consumer related complaints, you can go, and women can go and report their complaints on ncw.nic.in. Any reported complaint also you can register on these particular platforms. So be proactive. Do not get cyber bullied, and do not share unwanted information which is there. Always remember, technology is going to grow, keep on growing, and keep on advancing. New things will come up, and you will also can't get away from this particular technology. As I mentioned, deep or AI technology will keep on growing. It's a new technology, but people misuse deep learning to create deep fake videos and contents. So we really need to be very vigilant. We need to be aware of this particular technology, and how the technology we can use it in the right way, rather than using it in a very wrong way, which is there. And there are cyber criminals, there will be, but we have to keep ourselves safe. Also, before I conclude, I really want to tell, younger students today basically use a lot of these LLM models like ChatGPT. You have, Gemini, which is there. And whenever you are, you use it for academic purposes, you think that you might be getting a lot of content which is, freely, easily available. But remember one thing, it's very, very important for you to read books, because this is the time where you're going to learn, research, learn new things by reading. So do not just go to ChatGPT and just refer it easy, get an easy content. There are no shortcuts in life. Not only that, but B, you also need to be careful about what you are posting on that particular command. Because if you post any sensitive information, then you are making yourself very vulnerable, because once the LLM model has that particular information, it will use that particular information to train itself, which is there. So you need to be little bit vigilant. Things you need to take. Technology will keep growing, and you will keep learning new things. So use the technology, but use the technology in the right way, which is there. So I'm happy to take any questions. And thank you all for giving me an opportunity to share and talk on this very, very important and a sensitive topic.
Dr. Shruti, thank you so much for delivering that presentation. It was very insightful, and you highlighted some of the key points, and you actually have hit the chord that though it is inevitable to stop using social media or online platforms, but still we can keep it at a distance. We can read books, we can go out, socialize in person rather than socializing on the networking sites. It is the need of the hour, but we can definitely go for a break every now and then. We can detoxify ourselves when it comes to maintaining cyber hygiene. Now, we have received a few questions, and there's one simple question which is actually the gist of the entire thing that you've mentioned so far, and the viewer is asking why cybersecurity awareness is important for individuals and organizations alike.
See, we are living in a digital space, and each one of us in fact, live in two spaces. One is a physical space, and the other is a digital space that we live in. And as I said, in a digital space, each one of us has a digital footprint in terms of your email, which is there, in terms of your Aadhaar, which you use, or your proof of identity, proof of address. You have your banking accounts online, you do your financial transactions online. And there are also cyber criminals who want to get access to your sensitive information and cause a cyber attack. So there are two things that person can do. I am least bothered about my cyber security, and I am being willing to be a cyber victim. But that instead of being a victim, you be a vigilant and ensure that you keep yourself space in the cyber world.
Absolutely, we need to stay vigilant and calm in the times of crisis. If we have been a victim of cyber fraud, then we need to report it. You have already mentioned the number, and even before that, we need to stay prepared. We need to stay active and alert on social media. We must use it judicially, because as you said that we are leaving our digital footprints everywhere, and if anybody happens to hack our account, all our information will be leaked and can be misused. Now, there is another question, Dr. Shruti, and the person is asking, what are some of the best practices for data backup and storage?
So for data backup, what you can do is, there are nowadays, you can keep it on, there are different ways in fact. One is you have your hard drive, keep all the data backup on your hard drive. There you can also keep your data backup on cloud. So do that. So even if your hard drive gets corrupted, you can always have your information available on the cloud. Like we use our Gmail, Google has this cloud, you can use that to keep your information. If you're using Outlook, Outlook also has a SharePoint, there you can keep that particular information safe. So because you never know when and where your devices can get corrupted, or a ransomware attack can take place, somebody takes control of your particular devices, but your information will always be safe.
Right. Now, we're not living in a world where we're carrying pen and paper or pen and diary all the time. And you know that we're using so many apps, and these apps ask for signing up. They ask us to sign up and create passwords. And
Yeah.
at times what happens, people create passwords and they save them in their mobile phones itself. They create a note and write it in the mobile phone. How safe or how dangerous you think it is?
See, as I said, you will come across when we are using different websites or social media platforms you're accessing. At times you might get a phishing link which is
Hmm.
there, or you might just get an SMS. You just open it, it has a virus or it has a worm, and it has a Trojan horse. The Trojan will basically get installed on your device.
Right.
Because what happens is many of the cyber attacks today are getting in fact, I'll just add a point here. As per the 2025 Data Security Council report, around 90% of the crimes this time, especially the virus, worm, and the malicious code crimes, have impacted Android devices.
Okay.
When we talk about Android devices, it's basically the Android phones,
Hmm.
which people commonly prefer Android
Yeah.
over iPhone, because those are very, very costly. And
Hmm.
your Android operating system is very vulnerable to this. So if somebody gets a very of any worm or virus, if that gets affected your device, you will lose all your sensitive information. So the cyber criminal get accesses to your bank accounts, your username and passwords, even through your mobile phones. So never ever install or save, I would say, not install but save your username, passwords and the bank information on your mobile phones.
Okay. Ma'am, we just do not have to be responsible citizens. We have to be responsible employees, responsible parents, and responsible students also. What role do you think employees can play in maintaining an organization's cybersecurity?
See, always, whatever devices you're using, whether it is your mobile phones, you're using your laptops, most of the organizations today provide their employees with laptops,
Yeah.
or even if there are tablets which
Hmm.
are there. Ensure that these are well protected. That means antiviruses are regularly updated in
Yeah.
your mobile phones also, even in your laptops as well. Because what happens is when you're regularly updating the antiviruses, the new cyber attack, cyber malicious code signatures which are there, that also get activated in these kind of antiviruses which are there, and that keeps your device safe to a greater extent. So even if by mistake you click on a phishing link, and that phishing link is directed to a basically a ransomware or a kind of a malicious other code like a virus or a worm, the antivirus will detect it and counter it, which is there. I'll give a very example. A few years back, I worked with ISB. There is one of a visitor who came to our campus, and that visitor wanted an internet. So we kindly graciously gave the internet access to that. But his device or the mobile phone was infected by a worm, and that worm basically spread in the complete network of our education institution and
Hmm.
impacted all our devices. We lost a lot of our data, but luckily most of our data was on the server. There was a backup, and that's from where we were able to retrieve it. It took us almost 6 months to get and retrieve and go to our normal system backs. So it is very, very important as employees also that you keep your devices safe, because if you're keeping your devices safe, you can also keep your organization safe.
Right. We keep on hearing about the cases of malware, ransomware also, so we need to stay alert. Ma'am, how do you think individuals can ensure that their data is encrypted and secure?
There are different ways. For example, it's simple. I'm telling you, you have your Word documents, you're keeping your writing anything, you can just put a simple password to your Word document, which is there. That provision is also there. So there are different ways, small ways, and also nowadays there are biometric things which are available on devices. So you can, have biometric locks. So you will keep yourself safe as well.
Ma'am, you just mentioned that these days a lot of fake news is also being circulated, and we have technologies like deepfake, which makes the thing all the more nasty. Of course, there are certain issues that are very sensitive, and we need to handle them very nicely. But as they say that the content out there, you cannot verify it all the time. So, how do you think individuals can verify the authenticity of online sources so as to protect themselves from any kind of online harm, panic, or even reacting in an
Yeah,
obnoxious way?
absolutely. That's a very good question that
Yeah.
you have asked, raised. So always when the first time you get that information, whoever has sent you, Because what happens is in panic, as you mentioned, if we come across a news, we tend to send it to everybody,
Yeah.
to people in our different, because we have so many WhatsApp group where we have friends and family.
Yes.
And what makes us send is because we think about our friends and family, and because we want to protect them.
Yeah.
That's a human psychology, right? And then you immediately send it and forward it. And in turn, you become a medium of not just creating more panic, but also spread of that fake news and misinformation,
Yes.
which is there. So whenever you get a particular information, first open it up, check it. Check the author name on it. Who has sent it? What is the source of it, which is there? Go, and if it, even if it says Times of India or any kind of a business, go and validate it on the Times of India application or on the digital Times of India website, if this particular information is genuine or not, which is there. Who is the author of that particular information? Go and search. These are some ways in which you can keep it. Now, in terms of deepfakes, at times it is very, very difficult to identify what deepfakes are.
Yeah.
But you will be able to identify it basically on the eye contacts which are there, the lip movements which is there, their facial expressions. That's another way basically that you can identify deepfake content which is there.
Okay. Ma'am, the topic is such that I can keep on asking questions because I'm so curious, and it is something that I and everybody must know, because we do not want to be a victim of any kind of cyber threat or cyber fraud. We want to keep ourselves safe, our families safe, our students, community safe. But we'll keep on discussing many more issues and many more topics in the days to follow. But for this session, where we talked about basics of cyber hygiene on day one, Dr. Shruti, I would like to thank you for your contribution to
Thank
the
you so
session
much for
and
having
for
me.
sharing all the information. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, viewers, it's time for me to actually wind up today's session, online training program, where on day one we talked about Dr. Shruti, we talked about basic cyber hygiene by Dr. Shruti Mantri. This presentation was by her, and it came to you under the umbrella theme of cyber Swachhata and digital citizenship. Well, of course, tomorrow we will bring you yet another topic. So I request you to kindly ask relevant questions and do not mark your attendance, because these topics are very important. Unless and until you keep yourself updated and increase and improve your knowledge, you won't be able to spread the right information to those who really need it. So let's come out of the misinformation and disinformation part. So with this, it's a wrap from me here. But before I leave, let's talk about the textbooks which are available on Amazon, Flipkart and NCERT website. I'm talking about grade 4 and 7. And now let's take a quick look at the schedule, what's all coming ahead. So in a short while from now, you can watch a session Sahyog, where we will be talking about therapeutic use of play to discover most essential cells. And I request you to kindly participate. And with this, I'm finally closing the session. This is me, Harpreet Kaur, taking leave of you. Take care. Namaskar.